Let's throw some jabs.
The fight starts now!
All right, Sergio, we are just days removed from Katie Taylor's thrilling split decision win over Amanda Serrano, and people are already wondering, are we going to see them do it again? Both Taylor and Serrano sounded open to a rematch after the fight, perhaps in Ireland, perhaps at Madison Square Garden. So should Taylor and Serrano go into an immediate rematch?
This is a 100% emphatic, absolutely yes. They should go into it at the end of summer because it was a great fight of the year type fight. I mean, they filled 19,000 at Madison Square Garden. They made history, Mannix, and the fight produced. Nobody was disappointed. This was a boxing match. Forget women's boxing. Forget everything else that you want to throw at it. This was boxing at its absolute best, and boxing won. Yes, we all want to see it again because it was a thrilling fight. It was a close fight. Some thought Serrano won. Some thought that Taylor won. They made career high paydays. I mean, everything's there. Check every box. Let's do it again. Let's run it again. And they don't have time to waste either, Mannix. I mean, Katie Taylor's 35 years old. Amanda Serrano's 33 years old. It took them this long to make this kind of life-changing money. Let's run it back.
Yeah, I can't argue with any of that. This has a very Arturo Gatti, Mickey Ward type of rivalry feel to it. And those three guys fought 3 times back to back to back in some exceptionally entertaining fights. So if they decide to go again in the late summer, early fall, I'm all for that. I also wouldn't be completely opposed to one fight being taken in between. Like if you're Amanda Serrano and you want to get maybe some momentum back before you go into a Katie Taylor rematch, maybe you fight on the Jake Paul undercard in August. Get some more visibility, make a quick buck, defend your titles at 126, and then go back to 135 pounds and take that fight. Maybe Katie Taylor does the same thing. She takes on maybe a mandatory challenger at 135 over in the UK, makes some money, goes into a Serrano or rematch. Either way, I'm fine with it. I just don't want to see them wait too long because you made the point there. There's not a lot of time to be waiting here. Katie Taylor is 35 years old. Amanda Serrano is 33 years old. You can tell, at least on Taylor's side, that physically she's starting to wear down a little bit. You don't want to wait beyond 2022 to see this fight happen once again. So summertime, great. I'd be all for it, but I can live with seeing this fight happen in, say, December.
No, a fight in between will be a terrible idea, Chris Mannix, because anything could happen. Even a cut or an injury in a victory will hold you back. You got to strike while the iron is hot, while the excitement is still there. People want more. And here's another thing. Not only do I want to see it at the end of summer, not only do I want to see an immediate rematch, but I want to see 3-minute rounds. I want to see 12 rounds. This is the type of fight where everybody demands that. So there's so many things here that can be historic once again, but we need to see this fight immediately at the end of summer because both these fighters are making all the money, getting all the attention, and this is what women's boxing need, and Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano are at the forefront of it.
Well, to be clear, this fight can't happen for the undisputed championship 135 with 3-minute rounds. Right now, the WBC does not allow women's fights to happen at 3-minute rounds. So it would only be for 3 titles and not 4, at least by current rules. And Sergio, if you're Katie Taylor, why would you do that? Like, Katie Taylor is still the A side in this promotion. She's obviously dealing with some physical issues. The reason she was standing up in the first half of the fight between rounds is because her team is trying to keep her legs from cramping up. She's been dealing with calf issues over the last few years, so she has to stand, at least in the first half of the fight, to make sure that doesn't become an issue once again. Why would she give away an advantage to Amanda Serrano? There's no question that Amanda Serrano would benefit from 3-minute rounds. If there were 3-minute rounds in this fight, it might not have gotten out of the 5th. So if you're Katie Taylor, why would you do something like that when you just won this fight and you're obviously comfortable fighting in 2-minute rounds?
All right, well, there you go. That's an excellent point. And I didn't know that about Katie Taylor's calf. And if that's an issue and she's going to have injury problems, then 2-minute rounds is the best thing to do because you don't want to give her that extra minute. Serrano, even though she's a smaller fighter coming up, she still seems like the smaller fighter coming up. She still seems like the stronger fighter. Early in the rounds, anytime Katie Taylor was boxing, on her toes, sticking behind the jab, check hooking the southpaw stance of Amanda Serrano, Serrano was following Taylor. But then once Taylor set her feet on the ground and decided to fight Serrano's fight, Serrano was just too much for her. So that extra minute, 60 seconds, is a lifetime in boxing. You make a good point there.